was at Unity Village all last week in a mediation skills training. And I wondered what it would be like if all we desired was to honor you. We did a lot of role-playing, looking at conflict in churches between congregations and boards and ministers and congregations. And what we had in our discussion very many times with Gusto was his way, her way, our way, their way, the right way, and the wrong way. And God, it was my desire with all my heart to honor the other person, to worship the other person. And it got me to thinking, not for the first time, I wonder what it would be like to be in relationship with myself, to be in relationship with another, with a coworker, with a government, or with another government, where the only thing we knew, we knew it so completely, these universal principles that live in us, if we knew so completely our oneness with God, our oneness with each other, I wonder what our life experience would be. I wonder what our world would be if we could live from this place, this heart space, where the insights to the solutions, the issues, the problems are revealed from that inside place we call the heart. Well, when we do open our hearts, when we do live in that place where we're so completely, with every fiber of our being, immersed in universal principle, that's the third way. That's the holy way. That's God's way. That's fantastic. It's so fantastic. But that's not what our culture trains us to do. Our culture trains us to look at the labels that get put on people. You know, you're a woman, you're a man, you're an ex-wife, and there's someone here who's an ex-husband. But there's conservative, there's liberal, there's a feminist. Oh, no, wait, I'm the feminist. You know what I mean? It's like we have all these labels, and we begin to believe that those labels define who we are. And in fact, labels can be an art form. If you look at personal ads, single white female would like to meet very good looking, financially stable, professional, non-smoker, cat lover, sense of humor, a must. And we can add labels on there. I mean, we could put the word lesbian somewhere. We could put gay man. I mean, we could put like all these labels, and we laugh. But all of a sudden, that's how we define ourselves. And what that is living from the outside in. In Unity, we talk about living from the inside out, that the kingdom of God is within, that when we stop and we take that moment to connect with our divinity, that we create an experience is like the one that I talked about, so grounded, so fully, completely immersed in spiritual principle that we can't help but have a life full of love, joy, and peace. The third way. So I drew a little example so you knew exactly what I meant. This individual on this side lives life from the inside out. They let their heart drive their experience. Children are like this. Children, the 95 kids we have in our preschool Monday through Friday, oh my gosh, they live joy-filled lives because they live from the inside out. Now this individual over here on this side where the arrow is going the other way, is living their life defined from the outside in, defined by their labels. Let's just say, for example, this is an accountant who works for an environmental firm, who single-handedly is raising 3 children and caring for their aging parents, and is trying to work on an advanced degree. Now, when they keep all of those things in the forefront of their mind, in the forefront of their consciousness, then what their heart feels on the inside is stress over responsibility, overwhelming, over all those other, not very fun things. But this person over here could actually be an accountant who's single-handedly raising 3 children, has aging parents, and is trying to work on an advanced degree. But when they live life from the inside out, their experience then is driven by thoughtfulness, by compassion, by creativity. Because doing all those things, boy, do you have to be creative. So you get the point. Unity talks about the value of living from the inside out. Now, it's easy to get this intellectually, that love is the answer, that living from the inside out is the answer. So if those are the answers, if that's the only answer, then what are the questions? Because we also teach in Unity that it's the questions that move us forward. It's the questions that allow us to get unstuck from whatever label we've attached ourselves to in order to live from the inside out. Now, science actually has helped us articulate some of these questions, and you'll see how we are evolving as a human species. The Newtonian way is, how can I get the world to change so that I feel better? It's really tempting. It is so tempting. Oh my gosh, there's this story from Silent Unity, the prayer center. They talk about this woman who used to call all the time. She latched onto the label that if I could just be married, I'd be happy. And please pray for Jack to marry me. And so Silent Unity say, well, we support you in prayer. We support the divine outworking of your life. We support you in all the ways. And she's like, yeah, pray for me so that Jack will marry me. Well, time goes on, Jack marries her. And then she was calling Silent Unity. Oh God, I don't know what I've gotten myself into, but this isn't it. Because she was allowing that label of being married to drive what she thought would be her happiness, right? So it's not really about attaching ourselves to the outside things that's going to bring about this third way. So now we've evolved. Einstein came into our lives. And Einstein says, what do I need to love about myself? What do I need to love about myself? It's about looking at our belief systems that we've developed over the course of our lifetime and changing them so that we can change our consciousness. Einstein says no problem can be solved by the consciousness that created it. So yes, we need to shift that consciousness. We need to shift something in us in order to open the possibility that there's a third way. So this is really intellectual, and it makes a lot of sense, and I get it up here. I really do. I'm a beloved expression of God. Then why do I feel so sad? I'm a beloved expression of God. Then why do I feel so much despair? I'm a beloved expression of God. Oh, let me change my belief system, take a look at what needs to shift in my consciousness so that I can see what's underneath all that, which leads us to quantum physics. I knew you could hardly wait. How can I make myself an open space for giving and receiving love? The beauty of this is that love is already there. That seed of love, of joy, and peace already lives inside of us. And our job is to find those questions that will open it up so that the capacity within us can be vast and cavernous and immense, and we can know and experience our life from the inside out. So it's about allowing anything that's unlike love to flow in and through us, to feel all those feelings that I was talking about before, so that our capacity, our heart can be big enough to allow all that love to grow in it. So the first question to ask yourself, really, after we got through all that theory, because we want to make the bridge from our head to our heart. The first question to ask your heart is, am I willing, or are you willing, for your life to be better? And I'm not just talking about the better from the sadness, the despair, the grief, the fear, and all those darker things, but having your good life become a great life. We say in the spiritual community, don't let the good life get in the way of the better life. So are you willing, keywords, willing, another keyword, better. Are you willing to have your life get better? Then the next question is, what would better look like? And develop some criteria around it. So let's say I am willing for my life to get better. I think I'll go look for a better job. What would a better job look like? Well, the criteria I could develop around that better job, well, okay, I'm cheating because we have this criteria here at church, and I love it. It's about valuing innovation. It's about valuing integrity. It's about valuing clear communication. But once we start brainstorming and writing down, no judgments, all ideas are welcome. And then you just like, okay, yeah, I want integrity in my job. I want innovation in my workplace. And I want clear communication with the people I work with, because that builds trust. That's the consciousness I'm working, or we could work to create. Number 3 would be to try them on. My friend Nikki wanted a better life. She wanted a better, more creative expression in her life. She brainstormed about what that would look like and came up with piano. And then she began to try it on. She's like trying this piano teacher on. Then she tried that piano teacher on. And finally, she found a piano teacher that was right and perfect. And she knew it because when she tried it on, she recognized her alignment with her divine nature. Now, that comes in a variety of ways for different people. Sometimes it's like that zing you get in your head. Sometimes it's the butterflies in your stomach. Sometimes it's the chicken skin that just envelops your whole body. And for me, it's the happy dance. My feet just start on the happy dance. It's like, I know that is so true. It looks kind of silly and maybe not very mature, but you know, God speaks to each of us in different ways. And that's how we know. We recognize it. We recognize our alignment with our divine nature. So I want to tell you this story. It's a Buddhist story, and it goes like this. There's a man who is a thief. But he's a nice thief, or he's a good thief, because we're all nice and good in our divine way. He finds a spiritual master, and he goes to the master and says, I think you are a beautiful man, full of immense grace, and I want to be like you. Would that be okay? And the master says, yes, of course. I accept many disciples, and there are many monks who follow the teachings of Buddha, and I am happy to teach you. And the man says, well, I have to tell you, I'm a thief. And this is, let me just say that it was good because he said he was willing to grow. Okay, so get that. He was willing for his life to be better. Okay. But he says, I'm a thief. He says, I'm a thief. I've been a thief my whole life. I don't know anything but how to be a thief, and I'm not going to give it up because I've tried and I can't give it up, and I've been to other spiritual masters, and they tried to make me give it up, and it didn't work. And the master says, your being a thief is of no concern of mine. So the master is saying that the label that's driving this thief's life is of no concern because it doesn't come from the inside. And then the master says to him, so I will invite you to go out and continue your life, but I will ask one thing. I will ask that you be fully aware of what you're doing. And the thief says, I am so happy. He didn't realize, he was being set up. I am so happy because I get to be me and I get to grow spiritually. So he went out for 3 weeks, and then he came back and he told the master, he says, I'm really frustrated because I find that when I am fully aware, I cannot steal. And when I steal, I am not fully aware. You set me up, and it's because I'm a thief. And the master says, your being a thief is of no concern of mine. Continue being fully aware. So that very night, he leaves the master, and he goes into the palace of the king, and he comes upon the great treasure, the vast treasure that the king had. It was diamonds and rubies and emeralds and pearls and gold and just like all those treasury kinds of things right there. And he looked at it, and he realized, when he was fully aware, that all he could see were ordinary stones. And then when he went back to not being aware, he saw the diamonds. And finally, after several hours, he decided that these fleeting glimpses that he was having of an external treasure were not as beautiful as the awareness that he had of himself, his own beauty, his own immense grace, when he chose full awareness. So, let's turn this into eyes. Am I willing for my life to be better? What would better look like? What would the criteria and the consciousness be? What would it be like if I tried them on? And how will I recognize my alignment with my divine nature? They're great questions. We know that the answer is love. But these are great questions to open ourselves to that third way. I invite you to come into a time of meditation, to go to that inside place where love lives, to immerse so fully into universal principle that we know our oneness with God and each other. To immerse so fully in universal principle that we feel free, safe, and secure to wonder what it would be like to be willing to have a better life, to see what that life would look like, to try it on, and to know in our own special divine way that alignment with Spirit. Let us take all of this into the safety, the creative space of the silence.